So this whole model, okay, it pretty much sums it up here. Financial advisor appointment system. How to use educational workshops to grow your firm. I know some financial advisors use this model right now, whether it's one-on-one or referrals and whatnot. But we have a system here that is designed to systematically bring a consistent flow of new prospects that need this type of information right now. And I'll show you how this works. So here's a little introduction to myself. My name is Jim Park, and I'm a digital marketing expert. And my passion is to utilize social media to connect and provide events, people to show up to events and seminars. So my background is 17 years in the mortgage and real estate industry as a broker owner. So I have a lot of experience of the highs and lows of what the financial markets can do. The last 9 years, I've really focused on online digital marketing. And I saw that when Facebook and Google started to really have such mass reach, but more importantly, the data. The data that Google and Facebook has is somewhat scary, but for us marketers and connecting with businesses, it's an invaluable tool. So currently I'm the president and CEO of Somo Media Group. We're a digital marketing agency here in Southern California. And my specialty, as I mentioned, is filling up events and seminars utilizing Facebook ads. Now, the power of Facebook's laser targeting capability is perfect for events, which has led me to create this program here, which is called Educational Workshops for Financial Advisors. Why educational workshop for financial advisors? A little story behind this is that I personally went through the crash of 2008 with no sound advice. I know for most of you on this webinar have been negatively affected one way or another during the last crash. And for me personally, it's something that it was difficult. But at the same time, as I look back pretty much 10 years later, I look back and realize I didn't have the right advice. Now, had I been invited to attend a workshop in 2007 and had a financial audit, my losses could have been minimized. There was a point probably at the end of 2006, beginning January 2007, I had over $1 million of equity in my property, which I know a lot of people had equity. But I could have cashed in at that time and kind of sat on the sidelines. And if the market crashed, I would have had the ability to come back into the market on the upswing and, build my portfolio even stronger. But it was actually the opposite. Everybody was advising that the market's going to continue to grow. So you continue to leverage, build your net worth, and just keep going that way. Now, we didn't have Facebook back then, but even if I had received a direct mail piece that pretty much said, hey, the market is heating up, the housing market is somewhat out of control. Why don't you come by and we'd love to take a look at your finances and see where you're at. As a result, I'm utilizing my expertise as a digital marketer to connect people with assets with the right financial advisor for a free educational workshop and financial audit. And this right here, just this aspect of offering a free educational workshop and financial audit will not only help build your firm and clients and prospects, but if you really think about what you're doing is you're reaching the audience of people right now that still, are relatively fresh from the last crash we had. So, not only is it going to help your firm, but also it's really doing a good service for the community of people that really don't know where to go. So here we are entering the end of 2017. As you know, a lot of things happen in the fall, right? The markets move, and just the fall season is something that is usually unpredictable. Now, the question is there a need for this type of workshop and financial audit? Do people even are they even worried about it? Are they searching? So what does the market tell us? Well, according to the latest Google search results, Here we have a screenshot today, and it shows that a basic keyword search, how do I protect my assets in this economy? If you look at this, we're looking at over 3 million active search terms just for this string of keywords. Now, I know people will type in economic collapse and whatnot, but that's a huge search result for something that, we may not think is out there, but there are a lot of people searching for that. And as you can see, you have how to protect your retirement, 5 ways to protect yourself from the coming financial crisis. Now, these go back all the way to 2012 and 2013. So this has been on people's minds for quite a bit. This isn't just something new. And then here you have collapse of the dollar, how to profit from it. Here, June of 2017, how to protect your investment from a market crash, March 31st, 2017, 12 ways to protect yourself from the economic collapse. So as you can see right now, people are really searching because they know that something is probably going to happen. And most of them, have felt the sting of 2008. So what better time right now than to position yourself and be that go-to financial advisor and give them education and guide them the right way. So there's a lot of fear and worry about the overvaluation of the stock market, housing market, political climate, and the state of the economy. As a result, there really has never been a better time for you to offer an educational workshop and a financial audit for those people that have assets. Now, the financial advisor appointment system works as follows. We laser target your prospects on social media based on income level, net worth, liquid assets, size of family, high probability of investing, geographic location. So those are the key metrics that we'll target and that we'll identify, okay, based on the kind of clients and services that you provide. Now, what are we looking for? We're looking for experienced financial advisors who know the market, who's experienced in dealing with the highs and lows of the market. We're also looking for past experience with teaching an educational workshop. Okay, this is critical because this is how we're going to get people to your office or to a conference room. And also to have the ability to grow and prepare to handle new clients, because we are going to drive consistent traffic to your office. And, this is something that as long as you're prepared, for the growth, then that's something that you can definitely handle the traffic we'll be sending. So we're looking for one qualified financial advisor or financial group per designated geographic location. And the reason we're doing this is because we want to make sure that we don't overlap and make sure that all the clients and prospects that fall within your geographic location will be coming to you. Here's a lead magnet here that I wanted to show you. Okay, here's a lead magnet that, goes over the information that we'll be providing through social media to get the people to opt in and download this information. And that from there, you could set up a ticketing system that we'll provide for you so they can claim a ticket to come to the educational workshop. Okay. Now, this information here is something that it could be created from your blog. Okay. It could be created from anything that you have that's going to be beneficial to that prospect. Does anyone have any questions? I know I kind of went through that pretty quickly on what we do and what we provide. And if so, I'd love to answer some of these questions. And it's one of those things right now where, as you can see, there's not a better time in history for these kind of market conditions. And, where people really are nervous right now. And it's still fresh in their mind of this economic collapse that happened, 9-10 years ago. So, this is something that once we put together and, designate which financial advisor will be able to handle which territory, it's going to be a steady stream of prospects that really are going to have a need for this. And, it's like I said, it's from my personal experience. And now that I do have the expertise and the ability to bring together the financial advisors, along with the prospects, is something that I'm really excited and eager to get this out there. Now, I know those of you that have been invited by others, what I suggest you do is this. Like I said before, this is a 30,000 foot overview. Okay, it's kind of just like a summary of how this program works and what's going to be required from the financial advisor. Now, what we want to make sure you do is whoever invited you to this webinar, okay, you want to make sure you set up a time either tomorrow or the following day to set up a conference call. Okay, because our goal right now is to get these geographic locations pretty much filled up by next Monday or Tuesday. Okay, but because that's something that, here we are in the middle of August, and we know that September and October is coming up, and usually, interesting things happen during the fall season. So we want to, prepare everybody to get this out there as soon as possible. So Bob, you asked a question. All sounds good. How do you do it? Can you elaborate on your question? Like, how do we target and how do we get prospects? Is that what your question was? Because if that was the question, okay. So Bob's question is, how does our company get people to come and see Bob? Well, with Facebook, what I could do is I could laser target certain demographic geo-targeting and their income level, net worth, liquid assets, and whatnot. So what I do is I set up a campaign. Okay, now that I've identified them, then I put together a campaign and I get this message in front of them. So Bob, what area do you live in? Or where's your office at? San Mateo. Hey, Bay Area. I'm from Pleasanton. So yeah, San Mateo's a great area. Now, boy, that just San Mateo. That's talk about net worth, huh? So let's say, your audience would be now San Mateo is big. So let's say you take Aragon, where Aragon High School is, and you say, hey, my clients, I want to zero in like within 7 to 10 miles from my office, let's say near Aragon High School. So then I would create a campaign and I would create that lead magnet that I showed you, and I would present that in front of the people that you've identified. Okay, so let's say you only work with people net worth over $1 million. Okay, and you want people that have a liquid asset of over 500,000. Okay, like you don't want to work with smaller clients. So then I would laser target people that have a liquid asset over 500, net worth over $1 million, and then you would give me other criteria like, are they homeowners and things like that? What's the probability of them investing? So then I create what we call a target audience. Okay, and then from there, what I do is I create that lead magnet that I showed you. 7 tips to avoid, another financial collapse. Click here and download this free information. So they download it. Now, after they download it, it goes to what they call a thank you page. So another website, boom, pops up. On the website, it'll say, you are invited to attend our live educational workshop. There's only 5 seats available. So please go ahead and reserve your spot, and we'll provide you a complimentary financial audit. Okay, like a second opinion of your current assets. So with that information, people book, and then you're going to know how many people booked and who actually reserved the ticket. Okay, so let's say you do 5 per week in your office, right? Now, would this program work where you would want them to come to your office conference room, or do you currently do educational workshops, at a larger scale? How do you currently run your practice? Okay, so as Bob's getting back to me, that example would, okay, use a larger place. Okay, great. Now this would be ideal, perfect for that. So let's say you use a larger place where, you can house 50 people, hypothetically, right? So then we would do a larger campaign, 50 to 100. That's even better. Okay. How do you get people in there now? Is it direct mail? How do you get people in there? Okay, so Bob has a situation where looks like he has a larger venue, and yep, direct mail and calling. Okay, we know, that's pretty much 90% of all financial advisors how they do it, and they don't use social media because the regulations are so high. But one way we get around it is we offer an invite. Okay, we don't make any claims. All we're doing is saying, hey, come for a free financial audit and download this information. That's all we're doing. And we're inviting them to your place of location. So if you've got a venue that's 50 to 100 people, now we're going to actually go on a more of an aggressive campaign. And, to fill a 50 to 100 people, I would have to reach probably about 15 to 20,000 people in that 10-mile radius, which is no problem. Okay, so as long as my targeting is correct, and as long as my ad copy is correct, okay, and my funnel, okay, is set up properly, getting 50 to 100 people on a weekly basis is something that we could easily do. Okay, so that's not very difficult to do as long as all the places are in place. That's why we don't recommend people try to do this on their own, because you'll blow through your ad budget, and then you'll be targeting people that that don't have any interest. So okay, so Bob's saying these are strictly educational. That's like perfect, and that's the title of this, right? Is educational workshop. And that's the entire purpose of this whole program. Okay. So if you do the educational workshop, right, and then, the 50 to 100 people come to this venue that you have, and you stay on the topic, because remember, what we're going to target are people that have a current desire and a current need of their financial situation based on the economy. Okay, that's who we're targeting, because right now they're the ones that are trying to figure out, okay, yes, I have my money with, say, big brokerage company, but is it in the right spot? Am I protected, or is someone just investing my money to earn a commission? Okay, so based on those questions, okay, we're going to be able to lead them to your venue, to a larger place, and then they're going to be able to, at that venue, set up an appointment. Now, we can also do it where we get 10 to 15 people individually to your office without doing the 50 to 100. In other words, I could actually create a funnel. I could create a sales funnel, okay, to where they have to answer a questionnaire, and they have to go through a few different steps before you'll meet with them. So that way they will show up at your office, okay? They'll show up based on the criteria that we set and based on the funnel that we put together for them. So they have to answer a few questions, and then down the funnel, and then they have to book an appointment with a phone call. And we can set up. Now, if we're driving people to your office and there's 50 to 100 people, 5 to 10 people, we don't have to reach such a wide audience, because now we're really laser targeting, on certain people that you want to see. So Bob is saying, yes, that is worth a try. Absolutely. And that's the beauty of our program here. Okay. What I just explained to you is is powerful, because if you have a venue like Bob where you're trying to fill a 50 to 100 body venue, then my entire marketing strategy is going to be different. Okay. We're going to hit them on a different angle, because now we just want, people that are qualified to show up. Now, if Bob says, hey, you know what, I just want 5 to 10 laser targeted people that came from top of the funnel all the way down, and once I meet with them for a couple hours, there's a very, very high probability they're going to invest their money with me. So we can balance that out. Okay. So maybe, by the way, how often do you do your 100 to 50 to 100 venue? Is it once a month? Do you do it once a month, once every other week, or whatnot? Because you could kind of balance these two out. Okay. You could balance these two where 1 week we can do a laser targeted campaign where 3-4 times a year. Wow. Okay. Now, would you be willing to do once a month? Can you handle that? Or is that something you'd want to do, where you can get 50 to 100 people to a large venue? Absolutely. Okay. Well, great. See, these are the questions, and these are the systems that I would create based on each and every, financial advisor's need. Now, it looks like, based on what you're showing me here, you would be the prototypical ideal financial advisor that we would, bring on for this service. And once you lock down that territory, so let's say I would say, okay, Bob, what zip codes, do you want to target? Because, most people aren't going to come over the bridge to come and see you, right? So you want to stay within your geographic location. So the good thing about our program is that once we establish you in that zip code or that area, that's yours. As long as you continue to, keep us on retainer, no one else that we're not going to be working with anyone else in that territory. So you pretty much have that carte blanche. Okay. And that's how I want to set it up. I don't want a mass influx of financial advisors knocking on our door. We want to work with people like yourself to say, hey, right now Bob's doing 3 or 4 times a year. And my guess is that you're doing 3 or 4 times a year. Okay. And you do radio ads. Okay. Yeah. So you're doing radio. Oh my gosh. I could only imagine how much money right now your ad budget in terms of radio, direct mail, phone calls. Because when you see what we do on social media, it's literally 1/10 the cost of that, 1/10, because we're doing it right. My cost per click, my cost for an engagement, is really low because we're doing it right. And the way Facebook works is when you've got a proper ad campaign going, they will reward you with much cheaper engagement because they want you on the platform. Okay. Wow. So Bob's saying that he's been paying as much as $750 per client, ladies and gentlemen, $750 per client to bring them into your educational workshop. Is that right? Now, I can tell you this, to get one client and one prospect through your doors through my method. Okay, so Bob says about $750 per client, $750 per client to his office. I can assure you this. Okay, you see this smile? It's not going to cost you $750 with my social media targeting to get them to your doors. Now, I'm not going to give you a number, okay, because I haven't done the testing yet. But I promise you, it's not going to be $750. Maybe 10% of that. 10%, maybe. But once we start, getting that system in place, and people start seeing your ads, and they're like, and the good thing about social media is this. Here's the power of social media. You don't think for 1 second that if I had a great experience with Bob, and Bob said, hey, why don't you share my information with friends and family that need the same service? Hello? Okay, so now I've got a brother, a sister, an aunt, an uncle. Okay, that's the residual influx of social media marketing that radio can't touch it. Okay, direct mail can't touch it. It's one mail, boom, it's done. So the residual aspect of the growth of this type of campaign is tremendous. It's absolutely tremendous, because not only do you get them through the door and you do a good job, guess what happens now, right? Now the word spreads, and that's what social media is. It's social. They share, they comment, and those are things that we would set up for you. So, hey, Bob, who invited you here? Do you remember? Because we're about to get Reagan, my man. Reagan, I'm glad you brought Bob, okay? Because we're going to set Bob up. We're going to hook Bob up. And from a Bay Area native like myself, I mean, I live in SoCal now, but I know the Bay Area like the back of my hand, literally. I grew up there since I was 5 years old. So why don't we do this? Why don't we, Reagan, why don't you set up a call, okay? Bob grew up in SoCal, right? He moved to the Bay. I grew up in the Bay, moved to SoCal. That's pretty cool. So once we're off this webinar, Reagan, why don't you guys connect, and then I'll give you a schedule. We'll get on a conference call and we'll get this set up, okay? You'll pretty much have San Mateo, and no one's going to be able to come in that territory, and we'll get you up and running. and you have another office in Laguna Hills. Well, that's my backyard. Now, this is great. I mean, we couldn't ask for a better example on this call, by the way. I mean, seriously. I mean, we had a technical difficulty in the beginning, but to me, this is priceless. Okay, we have a live financial advisor, unscripted, with an exact scenario of what we're providing. And $750 per person to come to your office, you can say bye-bye to those days. All right, so be excited for that. All right, so anyways, Bob, great to meet you. Reagan, make sure you connect. And does anyone else have any questions? Anyone have any questions? Because you know me, I don't like to stay on too long for these calls. Bob says I'm restraining excitement. Listen, Bob, if you're excited, wait till you see what we're going to do. All right? I mean, you couldn't ask for a better case study. My goodness. Here's Bob, ladies and gentlemen, 50 to 100, 3 to 4 times a year. Okay, he's already doing that. All right? The man's already doing it. And now, wait till we start honing in. Hey, real quick, Bob, what is your ideal prospect in terms of liquid asset and net worth? Who would your ideal prospect be if we brought them to your front doors? Okay, so as Bob's getting back, see, now these are questions that we get asked because now we could actually put this together in a very amazingly profitable way. I mean, seriously, this you couldn't ask for a better situation. I mean, we have pretty much a live case study. In about, I don't know, 3 weeks, Bob's probably gonna need a bigger venue. Because if you allocate $750 per person, oh my gosh, I'm just like you don't even know, because the power and the leverage that we have with the laser targeting ability and the retargeting and the conversions come in the retargeting. We haven't even talked about the retargeting part. And I just can't wait to get that going. All right. So Bob says family, has a home, income over 100K, right? Has children, 401K and IRAs. Yep. We could target that. There you have it. And one final question. You do see a lot of nervousness out there, right, Bob? I mean, you're in the field. You see a lot of people that are kind of nervous about this overvaluation of the market, right? Because I mean, I'm seeing that all over the airwaves right now, and that's what led me to put this together, with my teammates here to help them get this going. So, all right, cool. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. So, anyone else? Comments? I don't know, Reagan, if you want to get on, we have a few minutes. It's up to you guys. There's a lot of unease. Bob says there's a lot of unease, trust in people who really don't know how to do it. Right. Hey, Bob, are you in front of a computer right now? Are you, are you on your phone, a computer? Okay. Would you mind getting on and just kind of saying hi and just showing us your excitement and anything? I mean, we do have a few more minutes left if you'd like. The way it works is I would turn on your mic and I would turn on your camera, and then you and I would both be on. It's kind of like an interview, it'll show like an interview, and then you can introduce yourself and doing all that good stuff, because this was unscripted. I didn't even know Bob. So anyhow, while Bob's seeing if it works, ready. All right, Bob, here we go. I like Bob. Everyone, are you excited to meet Bob? Give me a yes. All right, Bob. All right, here we go. Hey, Bob, are you there? Bob. Hey, Bob, are you there? Hey, there you are, Bob. Hey, Bob, is your mic on right now? Let's see. Oh, here, let me turn on. There you go. Bob, say hi. All right, let me see here. Come on, we got to get Bob on this. Hold on. Okay, the mic is on here,
Okay, I just
but
hit
we
allow.
can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Bob, do you have a switch to turn your mic on at all?
Let me see.
Oh, Tom, you can hear. You can. Bob, say hi.
There we go.
Oh, there you are. Bob, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Excellent. Hey guys, is this a special treat or what? Tell me, is this a special treat or what? Give me a big yes. Yes, it is. Well, this is our first launch, by the way. So, I mean, it's great to have you on. So, kind of explain to me, how you were sharing in that chat there. Tell me what you have going right now with your 100 people.
Well, we have space for 100 people. We don't always get 100 people there.
Right.
Sometimes we'll get a dozen people there.
Gotcha.
But our return on those dozen is pretty high.
Right.
So and so by the time we spend all that, and then Southern California, the guy that I work with has been doing seminar dinners. Well,
Yes.
those cost $8,000 to put on,
Right.
and so they're very successful. They've been going on for a long time. But those kinds of things, more people are doing that, so the market becomes satiated by doing it that
Yes.
way. We're kind of skeptical. We've been talking to Reagan and some other people about social media,
Mhm.
and we're skeptical about it, whether it can work or not, because this is so personalized, and it's worth a try. We're looking for different ways to market.
Mhm.
We're doing radio here. That's going to be going away
Mhm.
temporarily. We're not going to do that for a little bit and trying some other things. So you're coming at a very timely time uh,
Wow.
for us.
That's so great. I mean, timing is everything. And where do you do your radio ads at KGO 810, or where do you run your
AGO,
ads?
DNVR.
Okay. Okay. So like the sporting, right. How much would you say you invest in that campaign for,
Well,
launch?
actually, James has been doing it, and I just came on board a year
Mhm.
ago. Um, I'm not sure I don't want to say because I'm not so sure. I don't want to. It's a lot.
Gotcha.
It's a
Okay.
lot.
Well,
Five figures,
here's
5 figures a month.
okay. So, okay, keep that in mind, because just because you're doing social media, you don't want to lower that budget. Okay. Some people go, okay, your cost per engagement is 90% cheaper, so we're going to reduce it. No. So what you do is you're already spending that money, and had we not chatted, you would have continued to invest that money. Now, here's what I will tell you though: the amount of reach and the power and the leverage that we're going to get, okay, with that kind of ad spend, you have no idea, okay, how far and how wide we can reach with that, especially with a topic right now as pressing as you know are you ready for a possible economic collapse, or things like that. Those keywords are extremely hot right now, and people don't know where to go. And what I do is, based on your criteria, it's going to go right on their news feed. Okay. So when they're in their mobile device, they're going to be able to say, oh my gosh, you know what? I have the same, fear right now. So I better come into this free workshop and see what Bob has to say. So to me, that's why I'm just so excited, because I know how much radio and direct mail, I know how much that costs. And I also know how much it costs to doing it our way. Okay. Because we're literally kind of like laser targeting that prospect and getting that message right to them at the right time, because it's all timing. And, like you couldn't, like I said, and I'm so glad you came on, because you couldn't ask for a better case study here. So, well, great. Bob,
Good.
thank you.
Thank you for
We're
your
going to,
time.
okay, great.
And Reagan,
All right, guys. Everyone say
so
bye to Bob. All right, here
adios.
we go. All right, great. Wow. It's amazing. I'm excited. This is great. All right. Well, guys, listen, it was a great gathering today, and we'll, go get the word out. You guys know now, you've seen firsthand how important this is. So go get the word out, and we shall chat with you soon. All right? Talk to you later.